Did y'all get married today?
Yeah, low-key we did.
Do y'all need it?
We did.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hey,
Can I please get you? Stop.
You want me?
I want you.
For real?
Yeah, dead.
You have a whole man though.
Yo, dead. What is he supposed to do? Watch.
Unlucky on that fella. Fell in love with a lustful woman and married her as well. Unlucky. Imagine that. You've just married the woman of your dreams and she's saying already that she wants another man right in front of you. That's pain, and you can see the pain in his face.
You guys were growing up. What made a woman a...
When she slept with everybody.
She slept with everybody and didn't get money.
How many people?
A lot.
One, if she wasn't married.
It was one back in the day?
Yeah, one was in more than one was a...
That was the rules?
I wonder if guys ever look at a woman who is beautiful and then she opens her mouth and then he's like, what a shame.
You actually just described the entire male experience. Some may say a tale as old as time. The entire male experience is just a collection of what a shames. Until eventually you're like, holy shit, this one, she doesn't suck. And I didn't see that coming.
What about the men who build the bridges and build the roads and everything that you use? Did you build it? I'm asking you. Did you build it? Guess we're both useless, aren't we? Welcome to the club, queen.
So men can't take accountability for the positive strides that other men have contributed to society, but men have to take accountability for the creation of the patriarchal system.
What he's really saying here is that he's already run the experiment, and the data came back loud and clear. Logical consistency doesn't survive in environments where emotions are treated as facts. When someone's worldview resets every time their feelings change, expecting coherence is a guaranteed way to frustrate yourself. One day, it's principles. The next day, it's vibes. And when those two collide, principles always lose. Let's get straight into it, because this right here sets the tone for everything that follows. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. This is why so many modern relationship arguments go nowhere. You're trying to debate facts, patterns, and long-term consequences, while the other person is arguing from how they feel right now, not what they felt yesterday, not what they'll feel tomorrow, just the current emotional weather report. And when the standard shifts every conversation, there is no winning, only confusion. So instead of arguing, he learned something more strategic, emotional detachment through humor. Not because it's funny, but because laughter is often the last defense mechanism before disengagement. When you stop expecting consistency, you stop being shocked by contradictions. You stop asking, but didn't you say, because you already know the answer, does it matter? And here's the uncomfortable truth. This exposes a lot of modern belief systems aren't built on logic, accountability, or even long-term self-interest. They're built on momentary validation. Whatever feels good now becomes true now. Accountability becomes optional. And anyone who points out the inconsistency is labeled insensitive, controlling, or out of touch. This mindset doesn't just confuse partners, it erodes respect. Because once someone realizes that emotions always outrank reason, they stop trying to build understanding and start preparing exits. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, internally, until one day the laughter stops, and so does the relationship.
Well, honey, you told him to.
But he's not supposed to do it. He's supposed to change the way he feels and then do what I want. What the f*** is wrong with men?
Why are you following me? Exactly! Stop following me! He's trying to touch me! I live that way.
I can't live without her.
Don't feel bad, little man. I know exactly what that feels like. That is the reason that I went from being 6'7", 147 pounds to now roughly 6'7", 255-ish. I was walking in the Bronx through the projects, and two young ladies passed me, and when they passed me, they yelled at the top of their lungs, "Why is he so effing skinny?" and started laughing at me. I about cried walking home, and I wasn't as young as this kid. I was probably 26. And not saying that I should have changed because people made fun of me, but it gave me a jump start. Probably the one I needed. Probably on his way home, not even paying attention to these girls, and he just embarrassed them for nothing. Disrespectfully, of course.
How are women oppressed?
First of all, men like you might think of yourself as respecting women, but you're not if you think that we shouldn't have the same amount of rights.
It isn't a matter of respect, it's a matter of survival and necessity.
We're well past that, all right?
Right, which is the only reason women can think this way, is because all of your needs are met upon birth. Only in Western countries do women have thoughts like this. You go to anywhere else in the world, including developed countries, they would think you're an insane person for speaking like this because they respect the natural order and the balance between masculine and feminine. How are women oppressed? Name a single example.
Those women that you were talking about in other places, all right?
Yeah, but feminism doesn't exist there. Feminism exists here as a response to this oppression you're talking about, right? How are Western women oppressed at all?
I'm going to say this again because apparently you can't process it.
But be condescending. Don't say an actual point.
I'm saying you are being disrespectful.
How am I being disrespectful?
By saying I don't deserve rights.
I don't even think the word deserve is appropriate in that context.
That is definitely 100% appropriate.
No, I don't think that men have rights because they deserve them. I think men have rights because they can protect them. I don't think it's about deserve. Men don't deserve anything. That's why nobody gives a f.
Notice the pattern being called out here, because it's not accidental, it's strategic. The moment the conversation shifts to accountability in the West, suddenly the frame jumps countenance. Now we're talking about women in countries she's never lived in, never visited, and will never be affected by, yet somehow that oppression is being used as a stand-in for her own lived experience. That's not advocacy. That's emotional leverage. This is how the argument gets insulated from scrutiny. Instead of answering a direct, reasonable question, what legal rights do men have that women don't in the West? The response pivots to symbolic victimhood, not personal disadvantage, not measurable inequality, just borrowed suffering from someone else's reality. And the reason is simple. You can't fact-check feelings tied to distant tragedies without being painted as heartless. What this exposes is a recurring double standard. Certain issues only become urgent when they're useful in the moment. If it strengthens the narrative, it's amplified. If it undermines the narrative, it's ignored. Equality is invoked when it benefits. Differences are invoked when accountability is required. And consistency, that's nowhere to be found. This is why these debates feel circular. One side is talking about present-day laws, systems, and outcomes. The other is talking about abstract injustice, often unrelated to their own circumstances, because abstraction can't be challenged directly. You're no longer debating reality. You're debating optics. And the irony is hard to miss. The very privileges of living in a Western society, freedom of speech, choice, mobility, legal protection, are what allows someone to appropriate oppression without consequence. Real oppression doesn't get to be turned on and off for rhetorical advantage. So when the conversation ends with, "She's oppressed because of a country she's never been to," it tells you everything you need to know. The goal was never clarity. It was control of the narrative. And once you see that, the confusion disappears.
Man think that he could fully beat a professional female fighter?
Well, that's because 99.9% of the time, they absolutely can. And I know hearing that is going to upset some out there, but those are probably the same ones that are getting upset that like to avoid things like factual information and basic biology. It's either that or they've been watching way too many action films and actually believe it when the 120-pound female heroine actually manages to defeat the 220-pound male villain using nothing but skill alone. It's either that or they have no concept of reality.
What, are you going to tell me that you're really a man?
No.
Okay, good.
The truth is, I have a kid.
Oh, wow. Huh.
I'm sorry. I know it's a lot. I didn't tell you.
No, it's cool. It's really not a big deal. I mean, I have a bunch of friends who have kids, so, like, don't feel bad about it.
So, okay, so here's the thing. My daughter is about a year old, and I don't know if you put the timeline together, but when we went out, that's when that happened.
Wait.
So I called the radio station originally because I wanted to get in touch with you.
Are you saying I'm a dad?
No, hold on. Let me explain. Can I explain?
Yeah.
Okay. So I called the radio station originally because I remembered you and I wanted to get on a date with you because I needed your DNA. Essentially, I wanted to know if it was you, and I didn't want to freak you out before I knew for sure. So the other night when I was staying at your place, I took your toothbrush and I sent it out.
Wait, hold on. You did what?
So I took your toothbrush and I sent it for DNA.
Wait.
And it turns out you're not the dad. And I'm so sorry, and I know it's weird.
Oh my God, my heart just skipped a beat.
I know. I'm so sorry. I know how weird this is.
Do you know who the father is?
I don't. I still don't know. But even though it's not you, you're the person that I want to date. And you're such a great guy, and I want to go out with you again.
Well, let me get this straight. You contacted me through a radio station for a date, but really, you wanted to steal my toothbrush for a DNA test? And now you're telling me that I'm not the dad, but now you want to go out on a date again?
Yeah?
Doesn't sound like he's taking it very well. A little annoyed by that fact, I think.
Good.
Well, hello?
Sounds like it, at least. Oh, hey.
It's us again.
Well, it's Brooke and Jubal in the morning, remember?
Oh, jeez. Are you guys on the line the whole time?
Yep,
Yeah,
we were.
hi,
That's
Craig.
Let's slow this down and actually examine what's being revealed here, because the timeline tells the whole story. First question, how does someone genuinely not know who the father is? In most cases, that level of uncertainty doesn't come from bad luck. It comes from a phase where boundaries were optional and responsibility was deferred. It's often framed as self-discovery, but notice how that phrase is rarely applied. Equally, when outcomes are positive, it's empowerment. When consequences show up, it suddenly becomes complicated, emotional, and deserving of sympathy. And let's be honest about what that level of ambiguity implies. Not knowing the father isn't just a mistake, it's a pattern of short-term decision-making with long-term consequences pushed off into the future. The issue isn't exploration itself, it's exploration without accountability, paired with the expectation that someone else will later step in and stabilize the situation. Now, look at the second part, because this is where the switch flips. A year later, after a child is involved, the same man is suddenly a great guy, suddenly worth revisiting, suddenly safe, suddenly desirable. Nothing about him changed. What changed were her priorities. The self-discovery chapter closed the moment reality showed up with responsibilities attached. This is a textbook example of reactive settling, not choosing based on genuine desire or respect, but on who seems most likely to provide consistency, resources, or long-term security once the chaos phase loses its appeal. And that's where the resentment quietly starts to grow on both sides. From his perspective, he's being evaluated not for who he was, but for what he can provide now. From her perspective, the past gets reframed to justify the present and the child. They inherit a situation shaped by decisions made before stability was ever a priority. This isn't about shaming, it's about patterns. When exploration is encouraged without equal emphasis on consequences, outcomes like this become predictable. And when people pretend not to see that pattern, they aren't confused. They're protecting a narrative that excuses behavior first and asks questions later.
Mental load is fake. It is a crock. A woman's mental load is made up, and it is a crock. It is a woman's anxieties that she's put upon herself, and she's taken on more responsibility, and she uses it to self-sacrifice herself as if she's doing more in the relationship to make you feel like. Most women will take on more and more responsibility without ever having to ask, and they will take on this responsibility as if they're some kind of mortar to the relationship, and the only way the relationship is working out is because she does it all. It's also made up so when she's ready to divorce you or needs an excuse to leave you, she has it on a silver platter with a laundry list of expectations and imaginary standards that you didn't even know about, so when she's ready to leave, she'll dump your. And it's all just one big manipulation tactic to use it against you later on for not doing enough in the relationship, even though it's all her made up anxieties in the first place. And what's crazy is that some of these women are so delusional is that they use this kind of mental load talk to pretend like they're like oppressed in their relationships because they're taking on too much of responsibilities. Like, so now you're oppressed and your husband or boyfriend is not doing enough because, let me guess, you're thinking about all of the responsibilities that you simply have to do it as an adult. You're resentful and angry about it. Like, can someone make that make sense? Somehow that's your husband's fault for taking on all this imaginary workload to make yourself feel like you're doing more in the relationship as a self-serving act just to use it against him later. As if that's not manipulative. And what's actually crazy is that men do struggle with mental load. This is the exact same mental load that men have, but guess what? Men are told to shut the hell up. They have no support, and they've been told to be quiet since birth.
I never got married because I don't see any reason to make somebody else a partner with my money. I had a very rough career. I suffered and struggled all my life. It took me 20 years to become a hit. And then I wasn't such a hit. It took me another 2, another 3, another 5. Then I came here. I wasn't such a sensation with you either, so I had to come back. Then you found out what I do for a living. Now you got me back again. Now it took me 25 years to do this. Now that I'm making a comfortable living for the first time, I'm going to go make somebody else a partner. It doesn't make no sense. This is the only business in the world where somebody who's contributed absolutely nothing to your life for your money says, how do you do? I'm your partner. And if, God forbid, you spend the week with her and it doesn't work out, you owe her money. How do you owe her money? She contributed nothing to your money. She had a better life with you than she ever had for herself, didn't she? This Yente usually was living in Brooklyn, someplace in a basement. She couldn't afford gas or electricity. She beats a guy like Johnny Carson, gives her everything in the world for nothing, and at the end of it, you owe her money.
My legs are so itchy. I have so many mosquito bites.
Oh my god, that looks so bad.
I wonder why they go after you so much.
I don't know.
What were you wearing?
What?
What were you wearing to get so many...
Why does it matter what she was wearing?
Oh, I'm just saying that the more she's wearing revealing clothing, the more likely it is for her to get bitten.
Are you blaming her for getting bitten?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying mosquitoes are unpredictable. They're ravenous, so... Noor, help me out, man.
I don't know anything about mosquitoes.
All I'm saying is that the more she shows skin, the more likely it is for her to get attacked.
So you're saying it's her fault? That is so typical. Mosquito shaming her?
You know they bite through clothes, right?
Hey, maybe we can get to the bottom of this. What time of day was it?
What?
Well, was it dusk? Were you in an area where they usually swarm?
Oh my god. Fine, it was at dusk, okay? And I was by a lake and in a skirt. Happy? Okay? We should just go.
Yeah. We should kill all the mosquitoes.
Yes.
Well, you can't kill all the mosquitoes. You need some mosquitoes.
Oh.
Hey, guys. I just looked it up. Only female mosquitoes bite.
Huh. Oh. Oh my god. They love me.
And it's no wonder he knows nothing about them.
And if this conversation made you pause, reflect, or rethink what you've been seeing play out around you, then trust me, this is just the beginning. The next video goes even deeper into these patterns, the contradictions, and the realities people try hard to avoid acknowledging. If you enjoyed this video, I promise you'll love the next one. I'll see you there.